All right, hey everybody, and welcome to the 90-minute art challenge. My name is Bobby Chiu, and today is the life drawing class. What's the subject today? It's red pandas. And with me is the amazing and incredible Kay Acedera. Hey, Kay.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. And a little housekeeping before we get started, just a tiny bit. If you want to ask any questions, we welcome questions. All you need to do is you just need to go into slido.com, type in your questions there, or upvote questions that you like. Or you can go to Discord. I think Discord is on the bottom of the screen there, the address, the Lightbox Expo Discord channel, because this is brought to you by Lightbox Expo, the event to go to meet all of your favorite artists behind all of your favorite things. And this year's live, everybody. This year we're going to be, or in person, I should say. Lightbox Expo will be in person October 14th to 16th. It's literally like your Instagram has come alive as you walk through the halls there. Also, this is also hosted by Schoolism.com. Schoolism is the place to go to learn how to, paint, draw, all that stuff from your favorite artists behind your favorite things. Subscribe to Schoolism and you get access to all the courses. That includes assignments and all that good stuff. Okay, so here we go. Here's how it's going to work today. We're going to be drawing red pandas, starting off with four 1-minute poses, 4 2-minute poses, 4 5-minute poses, and 5 10-minute poses, and then we're done. All right, so why don't we begin with the very first one here, 1-minute pose, starting now. I'm just going to close the door real quick. All right. I noticed, Kay, like last week when I was looking at my drawings, I just noticed like the thicker lines that I was using compared to yours, and it just made mine feel like kindergarten kind of sketches almost. I felt.
No.
Yeah,
Silly.
I'm telling you, that's how I felt about it. So
I
this
think everyone's
today, I'm using thinner lines.
everyone's art looks weird to them. So, and then other people when they see other people's art, they're oh,
Really, I feel
yeah.
like oh, okay, we got 5 seconds left before the next one starts. I feel like maybe it's like hearing your own voice. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of as you're describing that. Um,
Mhm. Totally.
like everybody hates their own voice. I am okay with my voice, but I don't like the excited version of my voice. The excited version of my voice sounds like this to me. This guy is so cute, by the way. So cute. Yeah, we're doing this because also next week, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be Domishi's film from Pixar. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Turning Red, the big red panda. All right, that was quick. I'm just gonna finish this off a little bit too. Got about 7 seconds before the next one starts. Okay, here we go. Third 1-minute pose starting now. I love this pose. It's so weird. You know how the leg kind of clings on?
That's
But it's really fun, isn't it?
an amazing creature.
That pose feels very creature-esque. Like it doesn't feel like a cat, doesn't feel like a dog, doesn't feel like a monkey. feels like a red panda. Also, everybody, just a little word of advice. Don't worry about your drawing. It's very much about the effort that you put in, right? Just like if you're imagining lifting some weights, it doesn't matter if you're lifting the 200-pound weight like that giant strong guy. You just need to put in the effort, and then next time you'll be able to pick up more and more and more and more. It's like that kind of thing. And it doesn't really matter if you even finish your drawing, right? It's very much about just putting in the effort. Oh, I love that one, Kay.
I love yours too.
Is there a reason that you're doing a colored drawing, like colored lines?
No, I didn't think about that, but I like the
wow.
umber.
Well,
it's a
now everybody can see who copies who, because I'm just copying your colored lines there. It looks neat. It made me remember about like our animation pencils back in the day, how they were blue. So I was like, maybe I'll pick that up. I should have used brown, actually, now that I think about it, since I'm doing this red panda. Whoa, jeez, time's going by pretty fast. But these are fun, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll change mine to red color. Here we go, first 2-minute drawing. Okay, 2 minutes, everybody. And you know what? I am so like I love just drawing in silence as well. So if there's no questions, that's totally fine. But if anybody just kind of joined in and you want to ask a question, you could go to slido.com #90mac and ask your questions there. You can see the instructions at the bottom of the screen. Also, you could go to the Lightbox Expo Discord channel. That's discord.gg/lightbox, and you could ask your questions or join in with everybody else that's sketching in there. And then when you're done, what we do is we upload it wherever, and we hashtag it 90min art challenge, and then that way everybody can see it. And it's been great. It's been very encouraging just seeing all the other people that are doing these challenges each week.
And, it's so wonderful to see all the variations out there too.
Yeah, right. Like you actually so cool. Check them out as well.
I check all of them out when they tag it.
Yeah. So the elusive K also is looking at the stuff. If you ever wanted to get art in front of her, that's probably the best way possible. Not totally elusive. I'm just playing with you.
We have a question on Slido from Pedro. How can a person be a magician, an illustrator, a writer all together? Is it having a lot of those passions a burden as you have to kill most of them to go on?
Oh, well, let me just switch it up to the next drawing here. Second 2-minute pose. You know, it's my belief that the first thing that you want to, like, it's totally fine to do many different things, but the first thing that you want to do is get really good at one thing, right? And when you get really good at one thing, people trust you to be able to get good at other things, right? And then the other thing about that is if you're trying to kind of get everything good at the same time, it could be very counterproductive because you're splitting up your time on a bunch of different goals, and none of them you're really good at yet. Kind of harnessing all your efforts into one thing will allow you to get to a point where you can create demand to do that one thing. You could get employed to do that one thing, and having, a financial kind of situation a little bit more sorted out will do wonders, right? Obviously, everybody knows that, and that's how I went about it, right? Like, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do literally everything in the beginning, and then I tried, and it didn't work. Instead, what I did was I got good at one thing first. I got really good at painting things, black and white or whatever, and then color, and then creature design, and then after that, marketing online. The other stuff I started to do was, start to create businesses, or being a part of businesses, running my own convention. How different is that? That's a pretty different thing. Right? And just getting good at one thing at a time. When you split up your time, it's just less. Oops, here we go. Look at this one, Kay. Love this face, right? So cute. So adorable. Oh, I started this one a little early. I got a little mixed up. Apologies. I thought that was the timer. So I was answering the question, and that's my excuse. Okay, I'll try to do better for the next one. Now, people in my speed sketching animals course will understand what I'm doing here, because I was doing this exact kind of method with them in the last meetup. So, shout outs to my speed sketching animals course people.
There's one question on Slido, which has a couple of upvotes, but I don't completely understand the question. Well, maybe you do, Bobby. It's from Anonymous. How would you overcome a past version of yourself that looks like it's more skilled and advanced at everything you do?
It's like,
I like it all quiet.
wow, that's an interesting one. How did you get worse? Like, if that other version of you is better. Generally, we get better as we progress. So yeah, I'm not too certain what that person's talking about there either.
Maybe just like a little setback. Yeah, and then pick yourself back up. Right?
It's an optimistic question, I think.
All right, now I know what a 2-minute painting feels like. Here's the next 2-minute painting, or a 2-minute subject here. Okay. I'm gonna really try something slightly different. Like, there has been a time where I had to take some time off of painting and drawing, and then when I had to pick it back up, it was difficult. Like, I felt like, how did I do this before? You know? And that's when, thank goodness, I love studying the art fundamentals of life, right? How do things work and all that stuff. So then I just went back to my art fundamentals, and that's how I kind of got over that. But this is, wow, there is not very much time for these. Yeah, when I kind of lost, when I was trying to figure it out again, right, and trying to get back to where I was before I took my break, I found that I was skipping a lot of steps when I kind of came back to the drawing board. So for me, it was like really just thinking about, okay, where were those almost like basic kind of steps? And let me go back to that and do those things. All right, so we learned what a 2-minute 2-minute pose is, right? Let's go to 5 minutes here. First 5-minute pose.
Gosh, that's adorable.
Adorable. I love this one. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you.
How is this one adorable and fierce at the same time? It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's like Kay. Adorable
No.
and fierce. You like that, Kay? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, everybody. Just kidding. So cute, though. Look at it, like, yawning. Because it probably killed something and ate it. Just kidding. Anyhow. It's going off of that cute but fierce topic there.
There's a question on Slido from Anonymous. Is there a chance that Lightbox can be a hybrid event, like the online artist gallery and a few online talks? If possible, I can go there. Sad face.
So, perhaps. Okay, it's not like I don't want to, but Lightbox Expo, just the online version, it takes up so much work. There's just a giant amount of work. Same with the in-person event. And that's why going back in person again, I don't want to overpromise and then all of a sudden underdeliver, and then everybody's like, man, Lightbox Expo stinks now. You know, it's like, man, I just wanted to do it in person. I could totally do it in person. As you know, the internet, like, it's just full of nice people. It's full of really nice people, nice comments, but I'm just joking. It's full of horrible comments. I don't know if I want to deal with that. I'd rather just do a live in-person thing just this first year, and then figure out how to do the hybrid for the next time, because we haven't done the in-person thing since before the pandemic, and things have changed. So, you know, it's a bit of a learning curve. Oops, shoot, I drew right on.
I think people underestimate how much time and energy goes into it.
Yeah, right? Like, it's
and then on the other
thing.
side, it's like, but it's also a compliment that they want to.
No, totally. Yes. Thanks for thanks for mentioning that. That's in my head, but it's just my head just kind of went straight to how much work there is to do. All right. Let's see how much color I could bring into this sucker here. Add some darker green. And then definitely the goal, though, you know, in the end, is to do something hybrid, or actually, no. What we were thinking is that, actually, I don't know if I could say yet.
No, you can't. Be careful.
But I'm thinking about you, internet friends. Definitely have been thinking about that, and have some plans in store. So I could probably say that. And not just me, like my partner, Jim Demonakos, also thinks about y'all.
Good to hear. The question got a lot of upvotes, so people stay tuned. And
Yes.
we'll do our best.
But that's the reason. It's just there's so much work. Like, I've been working on Lightbox Expo, the in-person version, for I think since January. And it's happening in October. So it's a lot of work. I was doing good on this one. Darn it. I wanted to. Shoot. I want to finish this one.
Kidding me? Looks so good.
Oh, thanks. Okay, next one. Let's go. 5 minutes starting. Oops, now.
Wow.
This one looks really fun. It looks like there's a lot of storytelling here. And I'm not sure who was there for last week when we were doing medieval times. That was insane. That was super tough. Well, we here at the 90-minute art challenge life drawing class, we like tough. We like challenges. We like a little bit of everything. So next week, we're going back to medieval times. Thank you to Arm Street for supplying the beautiful imagery and armor. And we're going to be doing medieval armor next week. That's going to be the topic. Holy smokes. That's going to be challenging, to say the least. Draw a full set of armor in 1 minute. Go.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I feel like we're slowly becoming 90 Mac time travelers. We're going back to medieval times.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Yeah, I can't wait for... It's not medieval times, but we were talking about it just before this. The Lord of the Rings series on Amazon. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. It looks beautiful.
We haven't really announced this yet, but we're going to do a drawing jam in the Lightbox Expo Discord soon about Lord of the Rings. Like a casual drawing jam.
About which?
Ooh.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, shoot. Let me know. I'll try to make it.
Sure. Definitely do. Definitely do.
I'd love to geek out and draw some Lord of the Rings stuff.
Did we already have a date for it? Or not yet? The Lord of the Rings note.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 25th of March, probably Friday.
Cool.
Friday.
It's as good as locked in. It's like 99%.
That sounds great. Okay. In my head, I'm like literally telling myself, like, go faster, Bobby. Go faster. But also in my head, I'm just like, this is so much fun.
Yes.
Cool. We still have 1 minute left. You know what's awesome? It's like maybe you make a somewhat mistake in the first one, or you have some notes for yourself to do for the second one, and then you start to do them, and then you're just like, oh man, amazing, okay, cool, I feel like I'm gonna finish this one. Of course, I'm counting my chickens a little too soon. And then you start feeling good about yourself, and then you slow down, and you forget your drawing. That also happens a lot. Oh shoot. I just freaking said it and now it happened. I was like thinking I had so much time to do like a full-on thing. Well, okay.
That's
fine.
beautiful, Bobby.
Thank you. You're kind. I love yours too. This one's neat. I have been having fun with the thinner line drawings though. That's been nice. Actually, let me switch it up so that people can see a different kind of method as well. Here's my fat chunky method.
I like a fat chunky method.
I like your beautiful lines method.
There's a question on Slido, which is a bit tight what you guys are doing now. Charlotte, is it better to start with a sketch or go straight into values and color?
Yes.
Depends on your vibe, on your what your goal is.
Yeah.
Are you more concentrated on like painting, or are you more into the linear?
I think it's one thing that we can say for sure. It's great to learn both. Honestly, like when you learn two things, both those things help the first thing. So it's not like 1 + 1 = 2. It's like 1 + 1 = like 5, 6, 7. Because there's a new result that comes out of mixing in something that you learn from one thing to something that you learn from another thing. And now I'm going to segue into schoolism. Watch this. And that's why Schoolism Subscriptions is something I highly recommend, right? Because you get access to like over 50 courses. Like, you get access to courses for like so many different subjects, from watercolor to blender classes to all sorts, right? And so you subscribe, you get access to all those things, and also free webinars. Live webinars come with your Schoolism subscription. So, like, and they've been fantastic, by the way. I've been hosting them, so I have to be there, which, like, boo-hoo for me. It's awesome. I love it. I get to learn from my friends and all this stuff. Last time it was Nathan Fowkes. It was so good. Holy smokes. Right, and it's live, and you can ask him questions and stuff like that. The next one is with Star Wars fame, Robbie Trevino. And then after that, I think it's Aaron Soud. This one's going to be really neat. Aaron Soud is like one of the best story artists out there for live action. He worked on the Marvel's Spider-Man stuff. He worked on, if you like The Boys on Amazon Prime, he worked on that.
Love The Boys.
Yeah. He's worked with like all the top directors and all that stuff. So we're actually having him do a series of webinars, all revolving around story and storyboarding. That's going to be so good. Also, we have Iris Compiet towards the end of the month. And Marcelo Vignali. He's gonna be doing back-to-back workshops for Schoolism subscribers, and you can only access it. You can only get in to these webinars if you're a Schoolism subscriber. Right, so that's another really great reason to subscribe. Especially if you're not sure of what you want to do, then you can go to these webinars and see from the actual artists themselves how it is, and then they'll inform you about like what you want to do, or you could ask questions to see, is this what I want to do, stuff like that. All right, so that 5-minute is done. We're going to go on to the last 5-minute drawing here. Okay, last 5-minute drawing before we go on to 10-minute drawings. Different angle, everybody. Take note of the different angle. This is an upshot. So try to think about your stuff that way as well. This one I'm going to try my fat lines again. I'm going to try to get in some stylization. Yeah. And some light. That's my goal for this last 5-minute drawing. It's always good to have your goals, everybody. Not totally necessary, but
there's a question on Slido from Anonymous. Any advice how to overcome feeling stuck and unhappy with the composition, or even after a lot of time for studies and the thumbnail process, how to be happy with composition? I think Nathan has a good course on that, right? On composition.
Yeah. Composition with Nathan Fowkes. Again, on the that's why I was like recommending the Schoolism subscription, because it really is like I do the courses. I've taken those courses and I've learned a ton. He also talked about composition a bunch in the webinar that we had last week. But let's try to give you something to, that's actionable if you're not a Schoolism subscriber and you want to learn composition. I feel like if it's a situation where you want to learn composition, some of the best things to do is get out your favorite movie and start watching it, hitting pause for every nice composition that you like. Sketch it out, and as you're sketching it out, you try to think, why did I like this one? Why was it effective? What if I did this? What if I did that? Is it the same? If I made this room lighter, if I didn't have that window there, where does the attention go? And you really start to break things down. You're not just copying things, you're thinking about why does it look like that? Why am I doing this? And that actually relates to what we're doing here as well. Like when you're drawing, think about why. Think about why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What is your objective? I kind of like this angle I got going here.
It's good advice. Looking at movies as well. And if you really want to go in depth, pictorial composition, that's the one that I was talking about
Oh, thank
from
you.
Nathan.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Also, what's her name? Helen Mingju Chen, the amazing, the incredible. From Raya to Wish Dragon to now she's currently at Sony, like really high up there. I think production designing, right? Okay. She has a course also on Schoolism that I've also done, which is fantastic. It's a simple workout, right? For people that don't have a lot of time. She does movie studies and she talks about what is important to her with the movie and this and that.
Oh, you mean frame a day?
Yeah,
I think it was
frame a day. Exactly. Thank you.
It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun because here's the thing. Like when I take classes, there's classes where you take them and you have to take notes. And that's like, you gotta, what's that?
Oh, sorry. Ed just came back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and so those kind of classes, you have to take notes, you have to be prepared, you have to perhaps change your schedule around so you could have time to study the notes and all this other stuff, right? But with the workouts, you don't have to do any of that. You turn them on, you start doing them, and when the video is done, you're done. Just like our 90-minute art challenges. That's honestly what inspired the 90-minute art challenges. Right? Because
and there's sorry. There's one other question that's related to Schoolism, and T. Rod is asking, how would you suggest we approach Schoolism courses? One at a time, finishing each lesson, or every couple of days, or multiple courses every week for a longer period of time?
Definitely don't leave the course until you feel like you've truly not just heard something, but embedded it into your skull and you're able to like draw and paint differently. Otherwise, it's just a waste of your time. Generally, that's how I approach everything. I don't want to just half-ass something, right? I'm gonna, start slow, commit slowly, right? Don't commit to things right away, but when you do, make sure you stay on that thing before, and stay on that thing long enough that you actually learn something. If you don't learn something and then you stop doing it, all that time just became a giant waste of your time, right? But if you stayed, even if you don't like it, stay until you learn something and you're able to kind of say, okay, now this is different about my art because I learned this and this. If you could do that, imagine what happens when you take 1 class, 2 classes, 3 classes. Even if you didn't finish the classes, every time you're adding more value into your skill set. Right? And here's the other thing that really, really helped me. Learning 25 minutes at a time and then stopping and then not doing anything else. Sit there. Be a rock and sit there and think about everything that you just learned in the last 25 minutes and do that for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. And you'll see that you will absorb everything that you learn so much better. It's like this isn't just something I kind of made up in my head. Like somebody else made this up. But it's science, apparently. It's science. It's supposed to be like the first thing that you do, or the first part of the experience, and the last part of the experience, those are the most memorable. So when you're in class, whatever, generally you're going to remember the first part and the last part of the lesson. And then anything after half an hour, you stop kind of remembering a lot of it. And that's why I tend to stop everything after 25 minutes. And then I sit there and I just think. I just sit there and I think, I stare, I think about everything that I just learned, and I go back, do another 25 minutes. If you do that, I promise you, you'll be like, holy smokes, I actually did learn so much more. I retained so much more because I did that. Right? Isn't that neat? That's something that helped me a lot with the Blender class on Schoolism, because I'm trying to learn 3D. Everybody's learning Blender. I want to learn Blender too. But it's like everything's different than like ZBrush or say Maya, something like that. It's all very different. So doing those little breaks really helped me to retain a lot of the stuff that was taught.
That's to add to the mindfulness, basically, right? Of learning the lessons in there.
Yeah, but it's just like, I kind of picture it like, okay, I'm in class, I'm learning stuff, and things are getting filled in my head, right?
You
And
need
then
some time to
after
process
half
it
an
in the right
hour,
way.
yeah, after half an hour, you know, it's like all the crap that floated to the top, they all start dribbling out.
I just love the quotes. I didn't make that up. Someone else made that up.
As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, that doesn't sound right.
There's a question on Slido, and my heart goes out to this person from Anonymous. I feel guilty when I go outside because I feel that I'm not learning and practicing my art skills. How can I change my mindset to enjoy life and still improve?
Take notes while you're outside. Then you can do both. You know, like, always have a sketchbook. That's the one thing that can really help. Because for me, I feel you. I would love to just draw every day, all day, and not have to really do anything else. I would, you know, but I have friends, I have family, I have, you know, I have Kay, of course, and I also want to spend time doing those things as well. So, you know, somebody said this to me. I want to say it's Arthur Fong, but I'm not certain. Anyways, he said when he's outside, he looks at stuff and he tries to think about what the, you know, where would it be on the color picker? Where would it be on the HSB sliders? Where would it be on RGB sliders if you're really hardcore? You know, and then you practice, right? And that actually, it does help. We were hanging out with, I'm going to drop some freaking awesome names here. We were hanging out with Craig Mullins, or I think, Kay, you told me this story. I don't think I'm pretty sure I wasn't there. But the story goes, whoever was there with Craig was on top of the CN Tower having a meal, right? And Craig was staring off into
The distance.
the distance, yes. And then it was something like, oh, yeah, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was just looking at that little swatch of blue out there in the water. And it's like, wow, it's like he's studying.
Yeah, everyone was talking about something else, and he just, you know, breaks the combo, and he was just like, "Do you guys look at that blue? Look at that blue in that ocean."
Yeah. It's like Michelangelo telling you, look at that blue. And you're like, I see a blue. Okay, I
Yeah, immediately everyone was like, "Oh yeah, wow!" Like, you know,
like they'll say, I see it, even though they don't see it. You know, because their idol is saying, that blue is awesome.
everyone keeps quiet, and he's just like, "Oh, okay."
That's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he's so great. So humble. Such a nice guy.
He's such a gift.
I remember when I was walking and on the station or something, and then you see like people walking by, and he would in his mind count like how many frames they would walk in and practice that.
Wow,
Like
yeah.
that was really fun, and it's
Wow.
something we did like as a student group, like see for yourself like how many frames a person would walk, and yeah, it was fun.
That's really neat. Yeah, you know, let me name drop again, because this one's another crazy one. We're in, Kay and I are in Savannah, Georgia, hanging out with the one and only Glenn Keane, right? Like, arguably the best animator in the world. And so we're having dinner, or we're not having dinner yet, we're at the restaurant. The waiter takes our order, and then when he leaves, Glenn Keane starts to talk about, oh, did you notice these mannerisms about the waiter? You remember that, Kay? I don't know if you remember that, but it was really like locked into my memory. Where, yeah, I was like, oh wow, he's studying everybody. He says something about that. Yeah, I study everybody and their mannerisms like all the time.
And immediately we're like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Must
It's like
be on our
sit up
best
straighter.
behavior.
Don't chew with your mouth open. He's watching.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to 10-minute poses now. Or, sorry, that was the first 10-minute pose. We're on to the second 10-minute pose. These things go by quick when you're having fun. Here we go. I love this pose. This just screams at me to do some designing stuff to it.
Such great reference, Bobby.
Hey, thank you. I try. I really try my very, very hardest. I want everybody to have the best opportunity to make some awesome drawings. Hey, modern day James, right on in the chat. What's up? It's great also seeing like the people that will end up showing up in the chat and like hang out and maybe even doing some drawings. Remember the other day it was Anthony Francisco was on there. That was so cool. The creator of the designer of Baby Groot.
Yeah, Anthony's lovely. I remember we once did a drawing jam with him in Lightbox, and he came like an hour early by accident. And he then spent the entire hour just talking to us like as mods and like telling us about like any questions we had we could ask.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like we had our own little mini masterclass, which was amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he was at that time at Marvel, so he had like the background was all like his collectibles and all the things he worked on, and he showed it to the webcam. It was really nice of him.
Oh.
That must have been so cool to see.
It was definitely.
I want to do full color, but I don't think so.
You can do it.
No. That's okay. I want to do something like more concentrating on the actual rendering, the light and stuff. Such an interesting like overcast lighting scheme here.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, if they want to see color, they could look at yours. Go, wow.
Whoa. Look away.
There's a question on Slido from T-Rod. Have you thought about bringing the Lake House workshop back, maybe for 1 week instead of 30 days?
Well, the thing is, people fly in for that. So people would be flying in for a week. And there's a lot to prepare, right? So every time somebody leaves, then the whole house needs to be, clean top to bottom, desanitize everything. There's a lot in store. I wish you would have attended when we had it. Unfortunately, I don't have any plans thus far to bring it back. It was really great when we had it in Toronto, the house. Then it moved to Montreal, or just outside of Montreal, Saint-Julien, in this big house. Well, relatively big. I don't know where people live and stuff, but it was like 6,000 square feet. It had like a little, not full on beach, but it had like the sand and everything in the back leading to the lake. It had everything, but it was crazy expensive or something. We kept losing money every session. We would lose money, but we kept it open because we loved it so much, and that's why we kept it open for so many years. But I could tell you, every single month that we had it open, it was losing money. Sometimes you want to do things that's really fun, but at a point, sometimes you gotta pull back and go, okay, we also need to make money so we can keep doing this thing. And that was something I had to learn early on in the beginning when we started doing workshops, right? Because I remember a long time ago, Kay and I were watching YouTube, and we see these dune buggies, driving in the desert, and then all of a sudden I had in my head, like, I want to do that. And then next thing you know, we're setting up a workshop in Dubai. Who knows how many people are going to come. Lost a ton of money on that, on that trip. So I hope everybody enjoyed it, but, and I have no regrets though, right? Like, simply because of the people we met there. There were so many people there in Dubai that were so thankful for us to be there because they were from Jordan or they were from Iraq or something like that, and they weren't even able to attend our other workshops even if they had the money, because they weren't, right? They weren't able to get those visas and stuff. And so that really made it worth it. Just meeting all those wonderful people, feeling the like you're affecting people's lives in a positive way.
Some of them even had to hide it from their families.
Yeah. You remember it was like a little brother that was told to come in by the parents. The parents were standing outside to drag out the bigger brother.
Right.
Yeah. That poor guy, he just wanted to learn how to do art.
Do some art. I know. Can't believe it.
But, there's all sorts. Not everybody's like that. There's that,
Right.
and then there's people that were totally cool with everything, like some people I totally respect it and everything, but it was different for me. Some people, you're not allowed to shake their hands, right? Because they're of the opposite sex or something like that. And then some people, they're totally fine, and they're like, "Can I shake your hand?" I'm like, "Oh, shoot, okay, yeah."
Yeah.
I love how this rambling went from
That's why
one topic to another.
traveling is so great, right?
Yeah. We started off with the lake house, and then we went all the way to Dubai. I'd love to go back to Dubai. actually. I'd love to go to Mumbai instead of Dubai. I'd love to go to Mumbai. That'd be great. And I miss Brazil. Any Brazilians up in the chat there? Totally miss Brazil. Everything about Brazil. So many people I miss that live there, and the food, the environment, magical. I also would love to go to Colombia, actually. Bogota, the SIGGRAPH there.
Yeah.
Isn't it your old classmate? Or he wasn't in your year, right? Hernando, that runs SIGGRAPH?
No, he's just a nice friend, and yeah, from a different year, definitely.
Yeah, I remember he was in a young, like a later year than you. Okay, 15 seconds.
No.
All right, that was fun. Oh, big-headed. Red panda. All right, here we go. Next one.
Oh.
It's cute.
So close I can almost pet it.
Are you petting your monitor right now? Yeah, it is so cute. Like, besides those claws, I could totally picture having it as my friend forever and ever.
I remember seeing one in real life. Do you remember where that was?
That was in Chengdu, China. In the there's a panda sanctuary.
And they had the red panda as well. Is that?
Yeah, yeah. They had a ton of the giant pandas, and then they had the red pandas. And I gotta say, like, those guys tricked me. Those guys tricked me to come down and do a workshop for them, because they told me
that. Yeah.
They told me specifically that I would get to hold a baby panda bear. And,
they wanted to become so bad.
Yeah, and like hearing that last story about Dubai, you know what I did. I was like, all right, we're doing a workshop. We're going to Chengdu, China, everybody. Where's Chengdu, China? I don't know. But they got panda bears.
I love how you're giving insight to our audience, how to lure you towards like a certain part of the world. It's like, if you just give me a panda to hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was the incentive. That was definitely the incentive.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I'm going so I could hold a panda bear. And then we got there, and then the assistant was like, what do you mean holding a panda bear? You can't hold a baby panda bear. Like, you gotta pay a lot of money or something like that. You gotta get permission from the government, blah, blah, blah.
These things, yeah.
Yeah, and then I told them, I was like, okay, wait, you guys said I could hold a baby panda bear, right? And then they're like, we did?
I remember in the beginning they kept stalling, like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be later, next week, or like.
Yeah, we went there with Louis Del Carmen, director, story artist. And so I was telling him, yeah, let's go to Chengdu, China. We get to hold baby panda bears. And he was thinking the same thing. Darn it.
I can only imagine the amount of interactions that were just about holding the panda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we would
Well,
ask
actually-
about it every day, and
Every
they
day.
would tell us like, "Oh, yeah, it's coming."
Yeah. Just nod
I
your
see.
head. Just nod your head. You know, every time Bobby asks, just nod your head.
I already see like Bobby like, give me the panda.
Yeah. Like, is today the panda day?
It's
No,
today, today.
almost. Have another workshop. Oh shit.
It was still such a fun trip. though.
Yeah, I loved it. And they were great too. The hosts were really nice. I'm just
Yeah.
teasing.
It was one of the hottest places I've ever been to,
Yeah.
next to Dubai.
Yeah, I almost like dehydrated in the panda park. It's so
Panda
funny.
park.
In the panda park.
I love that every 90 Mac you guys have a very cool story around like the topics, like panda story involving this. It's really amazing.
Well, keep the questions coming, like the questions started, why isn't the workshop house still happening? And then we ended up talking about Chindu China red pandas and holding a baby panda bear.
Being tricked to go.
Who knows what will it trigger? Yeah, we have, honestly, we have so many stories. And because when you travel, you're going to have stories. And when you travel with a whole bunch of, artists and stuff, you're going to have a lot of stories. Some, many are not YouTube safe. So find me at Lightbox, everybody. I'll tell you a bunch of stories. I like whiskey.
Another added feature to the in-person event. Now I can I can safely tell these stories.
Find me by the bar. Give me a little thing of whiskey. I'll tell you a story. Bobby will tell you a story. I'm kidding, by the way. I don't need people buying me drinks. I think it got out of hand last time. Yeah.
And there's a suggestion on Slido. Next time, if we could do, or one of the 90 Mac drawing session on traditional Chinese wear.
Oh, okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I love the whole entire idea of learning cultures as we're doing this, like the medieval times one, or the we did the 70s costume or 70s fashion one. I was learning a ton. That was fantastic.
That was great.
You know what also has just mind-boggling, interesting costumes and stuff, like fashion or whatever, is if you go back far enough in Sri Lankan culture, they had these costumes and stuff where I don't really fully understand.
Costumes? You mean attire?
Like everyday attire that they would wear. It was so different. I just remember the bellies being really big, and it wasn't them, it was the clothes for some reason. All these beautiful, amazing things with life, Yeah, I want to do them all. Keep the suggestions coming.
Yeah, keep the suggestions coming, and I will pile them on and pass them on to Kay and Bobby.
Awesome. My assistant Rochelle was like, whiskey drinker, I like that. And I was like, oh shoot, yeah, right on. We're gonna have some good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big shouts out to my new assistant Rochelle. Yeah. It's been fantastic. It's not easy being a good assistant. And there's actually a saying where it's like the best leaders are great followers, right? And I think that's a really good kind of thing to think about. You must know how to follow. You must know how to be a part of a good team if you want to ever lead a team later. I find a lot of people actually, it's like people in positions of authority or whatever, most of them are not kind of equipped to be in that position, really. Because it's not like if you're good at basketball, all of a sudden you could coach. It's not like that. Just because you can draw, it doesn't mean that you can art direct or you can manage a team. Yeah, but I can't wait for Lightbox Expo. I can't wait to start traveling again and getting out there and seeing everybody. It's going to be so much fun. Like, for people that don't know, there were actually 2 proposals that happened at the first in-person Lightbox Expo. That's how much like amazing energy there was. Amazing positive energy, Okay, so we're done that one. And let's go on to the next 10-minute pose. Here we go. Last 2, second last one. A sigh of relief comes over everybody. And they're like, oh, we're going to do a portrait of a red panda bear? That's great, You get 10 minutes. Isn't it interesting when, before you start life drawing and you think, okay, I can only have 10 minutes to do some sort of drawing of a red panda bear portrait or whatever. That's not that long. But then when you start to do these 90 max and you start to do these 1-minute poses, right? And you start to suffer and you start to struggle and blah, blah, blah. And then you get used to it, you get stronger, you get better. And then you have to do a 2-minute pose and then a 5-minute pose. And by the time you get to that 10-minute pose, you're like, oh, that's amazing. Thank goodness we got 10 whole minutes to do this new thing. It just seems like so long now. And that's also part of the great benefits of having a healthy life drawing regime.
There's a question on Slido do you have any advice for recent art illustration grads that are looking for work currently?
Yeah. How to get yourself noticed, Like, I think that's the first thing for me. If I was just graduating, would be like, okay, well, now I have to make my own assignments. And how do I get myself noticed? Well, I would start to kind of look at the things that I like, look at the artists that I like, and see if they have any, like, do this in your style kind of stuff. Or you could just go ahead and just start doing it. I know Pernille Oram, she has like some sort of activity thing, weekly activity thing happening on her stuff. She has over 1 million followers. So it's like, that's what I would do first. Get the attention of these people, because especially when you're putting in that effort to really share your love of what they do by doing some fan art or something like that, that's something that a lot of us artists love to share, right? And if nobody is following you yet or whatever, and people aren't noticing you, or not the right people are noticing you, only your classmates perhaps, and none of them can give you jobs, then that's a really great way to get the attention of not just artists, but studios as well. Because, like I said, Pernille Oram, for example, has over 1 million followers. What happens when she shares it? You aren't just getting her attention now. Now you're getting everybody that follows her, the attention of them as well. And then many of them will start to subscribe and blah, blah, and, you know, hopefully contact you. Right? And I'm always about the long game. I'm not about getting my portfolio together and going door to door and asking for work, which is totally legit. It's totally a thing. It's just not my thing. My thing is more like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, I have a break now. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do my own art. I'm going to do more of my own art, even more of it than what I would do for work, because I don't know how much time I have till the next thing, right? And also because I can. I don't have a job. So I'll just do my own art until I get a job, right? And as I start doing my own art, I start putting it out there, and then people see. And if I'm wanting to, you know, get the attention of some well-known artists or something like that, I start doing fan art or things like that, then more and more people will notice, because that person, there's much more likelihood of somebody sharing your stuff that way. I've shared a bunch of stuff. So, hey, if you're looking for work and your stuff is pretty good, do the 90-minute art challenge. Tag me, tag K, you know, so we can see it, right? And generally every week, I share at least a few of them on my stories or on my social media, you know, on my Instagram or my Twitter. And my Instagram has quite a lot of people. It's like over 400,000 some odd people. So that'd be another really great way to kind of get your name out there. I love the fact that we still have 4.5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna try to do color on this one.
Yay!
Once I said that, I start to regret I said that. We'll see how it goes. Oh, yours looks so awesome.
Oh, yours is so lovely, Bobby.
You're just saying that because I said that first.
No, I like how we're providing two different kind of perspectives, right?
That's
I
true.
went about it the long way, to be honest, like this whole time.
Well, I wasn't planning on doing color. So maybe I don't know what I did. I just wanted to do something monochromatic, and then all of a sudden I still have a bunch of time left.
Nice to meet you.
There's a question on Slido from Anonymous. Any advice on negotiating your salary when your work responsibilities increase, especially when work isn't in the entertainment industry?
Huh. I'm not sure. You know, that's kind of like out of my wheelhouse. Or is it? You know, I guess the closest thing for me is like if I'm on a project and they're asking me to do more than what was agreed upon. But then yeah, it feels like it'd be different because I'd just say, well, this is what our contract is. I'm supposed to do this and this and this, and now you're telling me to do this. So can we kind of get some compensation for this? Or, yeah, I'm not the right person to answer this question, and neither is Kay. Both of us are owners, and we haven't had to really deal with those kind of situations.
I have another question for you guys from MR. Any advice on how to encourage work to consider more diverse and inclusive characters and stories and into their properties?
Oh, I think just speak up, right? And just, I think that's the best thing that you can do, because some people you can push and some people you can't push. And you want to keep your job, most likely. So I would just kind of pick your battles. Pick your battles and always try to suggest. Eventually, you'll get some wins, I think. But, you know, going back to the other question, I was thinking about it some more, and like, yeah, you know, I think we could answer this question. How do you ask for more when you have more responsibility? As long as you can say, like, this and this brings in more, you know, more into the company, then there's more to share. Then that justifies things, right? But if you're just doing more stuff, then it doesn't have nearly as big of an impact. But that might be very different depending on the size of the company as well. Like, we don't have giant amounts of people here in our studio in Toronto. All right, that one was pretty good. Last one, everybody. Last one. All right. 10 minutes. Let's see. It's another really cool kind of pose here. Yeah, I think the thing about like getting a raise, asking for a raise, like just think about it in the other person or the company's point of view. If it makes sense in their point of view, then it totally you're gonna have a really high chance of success. And for everything that I ask for, I will say, you know, this is what I want because, and give a reason. And don't give a reason where it's like, it only pertains to you, right? I need this because I'm really tired at night or whatever, and I need to move it into the morning. Instead of saying that, you could say, I'm a lot more productive in the morning. I could get a lot more of these things done even better or whatever. How about the morning? And that's a much better way of saying things because you're saying it with the perspective of the other person. Same thing with you know, working with directors, working with asking for anything, you know, going out tonight, and you have to ask your mom and dad. Tell them why, thinking about it in their terms, right, in their point of view.
Is that something you guys do as well, like negotiating with companies about your fee, or is it something maybe someone else does for you within the company?
I love doing that kind of stuff, so I actually enjoy that part of the process.
Do my own negotiation.
And yeah, generally like that's how I do everything. If you guys even notice, Neld and Patricia, when I talk with you guys about anything, I generally, I'll say, I was thinking of this because, and then that because is not some personal thing, some personal gain for me. It's always relating back to you guys, because I'm trying to think about it from your point of view. If it doesn't make sense, I wouldn't ask you guys.
We've noticed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys have done the same. You know, like when we were talking about that thing with Discord. I won't get into it, but you know, you brought in this idea, and then you're thinking, well, this could help because of maybe this or maybe that, and then in the end, you guys actually decided, like, yeah, maybe not right now because it doesn't make sense on Lightbox's point of view, even though it would be nice for you guys, perhaps, right?
Definitely. And I think in communication, especially, if those moments where you can always look at it from different perspectives and from people with you in the room, that makes it so much more efficient.
There would be a lot more peace on Earth, I want to say, if people did that. It would be like one of the big answers to most things if people just did that.
Yep.
Good point.
Totally different topic, but someone on Slido made a suggestion, and I think, yeah, maybe it's interesting, from MR. Suggestion to create a course or a segment that involves pros working on a short film or mini game over the course of 3 months, and students can just watch the process, no Q&A.
That sounds super boring, honestly. Because there's a lot of just like maybe throwing a ball in the air and just, you know, just throwing a ball in the air and the other person just sitting there staring at a wall. We've created our own show. We've created our own animated comic book app, right? And that took a long time too. If you're just taking like half a year, a few months, I don't know how the end product would be. You know, it's kind of like when you see people doing these demos where they're explaining everything. Those demos are generally not as good as their paintings. They're general, like by themselves.
I think from the outside looking in, it sounds like a very interesting idea.
Yeah.
And if you're the one who've experienced it, then maybe it's not like it's.
I do love always like those behind the scenes things or like clippings.
Yeah.
But like demos, it is not the most interesting thing usually, depending on what it is.
Oh. Like, yeah, let's talk about this a little bit, because when you're not doing a demo, right? You're starting from a blank page. You know how many times you guys know because you are with Patricia, and Patricia knows because she, you know, does art. So you know that there's many times where you'll start the best idea in the world, and then an hour later, 4 hours later, a day later, you look at it and you're like, that's the worst idea in the world. And then you start all over. Right? And if you have a whole bunch of people following you and watching you during this whole entire process, you go, first you click on this, then you click on that, then you click on this. And then, oh, hold on, everybody. Let's start all over. Forget everything I just said.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like I know with
Yeah.
writing, I really learned that there's a certain like amount of time when you're creating this idea or working on this idea that you have to be without any influence, because as soon as you're bringing that in, it changes everything, and you're supposed to like have this intimate moment with it yourself first, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you're bringing everyone in and every decision you're making, it changes your decisions.
Yes. Totally. It's interesting how much you really get artists. No, I guess it's because you got.
I've been living with
Patricia.
one for 15 years.
Yeah.
You're natural empathic.
So a lot of times you talk like you're an artist. I feel like you're not like you saying that you draw and paint, but you know what I mean.
No, a visual artist. I get what you mean. Like I do know that most of our meetings in the start, I always told Bobby like, okay, I'm not a visual artist, but this is my take. And then Bobby's like, well, you have a point. Like,
yeah, most times. Gotta say, yeah, most times.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I love these sessions. Just drawing and chatting. It's nice.
Definitely, always something to look forward to every week.
And just a reminder, everybody, since it's the last pose, subscribe to the channel and then hit the notification button, because if you ever miss one of these things in the future, right, you'll get an email saying, hey, we're streaming right now, we're doing this. You know, it helps you to stay on the path, helps you to stay consistent. Yeah. Next week, it's all about armor, like I was mentioning before. And yeah, if you want to if you want to learn more about sketching animals, I lead sketching animals course on schoolism.com. All right, that's the end. That was the final one, and I feel like this was super fun. Oh, the sound cut out for a sec. Hold on. Okay.
His face was like, ooh.
You're
back.
back. Yes.
Okay, so we're done. I was just saying we're done. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in, helping out. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to our wonderful team. Super appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody on Discord and YouTube. I was watching them both whenever I could. And yeah, this has been great. Join in next week. Same time, same channel. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.